Bao Shangku Shangguan Shenglu 803 Long 11 House 16028-1609 Shi Shanghai. Let's see if those addresses are at all significant. Ooh, that was close. Now, I didn't really consider off the bat that there would not be Google Maps Street View in China, but I wanted to see maybe where that box had originated. The closest I could get to the address was based off of 3 different websites that had the same address listed there, and it brought me to what appeared to be a residential area kind of on the side of the river in Shanghai, but primarily residential. I really didn't see any kind of like warehousing or anything that would make sense, so I just kind of explored the area for a little while. One thing I did find that was super close to the area I'd consider notable was the Wusong Fort. Now, the Wusong Fort is a Qing Dynasty fort that was significant during the First Opium War. Now, at the time, Wusong and the Wusong Fort was about 20 kilometers outside of Shanghai, right at the river. Now, the British came along in about 14 ships to assert their self-perceived right to sell opium to China, regardless of China mandating that opium was no longer going to be a part of their society, as it had corrupted their society considerably over the last number of years. So June 16th, 1842, there was a WWE smackdown between 14 ships and 19 Chinese ships, as well as guns from the fort and along the coastline of the river there. Now, surprisingly enough, the British did come out on top in this interaction, but they were also considerably more practiced in coming up with rules for another country and then asserting them through violence. That was kind of the campaign at the time. But I'm not going to go into that right now. It's 1 in the morning. I'm supposed to be making a video about a diesel heater, but I'm printing a part for it, so I just thought I'd do this. I purchased this diesel heater with my own hard-earned clams, and I have no association with the company at all. Oh yeah, these feel not the best. So there really isn't much to this thing. It's effectively a case, a fuel tank, the diesel heater, some electronics. The power input cables came completely bare with a fused positive, so you can put whatever connector is going to work best in your scenario. I think for me, I'm going to wire on some alligator clips so I can attach it to a car battery for testing purposes until I figure out a more permanent power solution. The core structure was simple folded steel held together by a few rivets and some shoddy welds, not unlike something you would see from a discount furniture manufacturer. It's worth cracking it open and just quickly inspecting the inside, ensuring that your wiring and your fuel line and your fuel pump is all in safe working kind of condition. I ended up having to secure my fuel line because it's very likely that it would have rubbed through on the side of the case during transport, but really not a concern. This thing is so simple that really, if anything went wrong, it would be incredibly easy to repair this. With the exhaust coming directly out of the bottom of the burner, I really didn't want it sitting on the ground, so I set out to make a stand for it. I bought a tire stand on Amazon for like 30 or 40 bucks, and then I just used a hole saw to auger out the middle so I'd have a place to run the exhaust pipe. I'll drop something a little more in depth on that procedure at some point, but it was incredibly easy. It took about an hour to do, and it keeps it up off the ground. So at this point in the year, it's like -30, -40 outside, so I did it like a normal kind of 2-hour, 3-hour function test just to ensure everything would work where it's sitting, and I had the proper kind of power delivery and everything. All I had to do was wait for the temperatures to warm up a little bit so I could start camping. So we did manage to get the diesel heater out last weekend. I think these Chinese diesel heaters are a perfect execution of an expired patent allowing an opportunity to manufacture something. Even though it involves combustion, the process is effectively simple. It's not particularly hard to produce the components. A lot of the components are just available in the manufacturing space already. It's more of an assembly situation. And I don't doubt at all that these things have been absolutely flying off the boats. Ours worked great. There's a creature of size over there. The area I'm in is so open that you can really hear everything all over the place. But yeah, before whatever that thing is comes up over the hill, let's continue with this diesel heater review. Ours worked phenomenal. It wasn't too much of a pain in the ass to set up, really, especially since I've got that little stand that I could just hang on the side of the tire. It's got standoffs on it, so it doesn't move, and I can even bolt it down, so if somebody bumps it or whatever, it's not going to come falling off the stand with hot components on the bottom. The exhaust tube on the bottom gets quite hot. Wiring it to 2 little alligator clips and then just throwing it on a 12-volt battery. The first night we ran it, preheat the tent before we went to bed, and it was nice and comfy. And then I shut it off remotely with the app, and then woke up at 1 because it was 0 degrees out and the tent got real chilly. Fired it back up remotely again, not a problem at all. It just turned on, took about 3-4 minutes to start making really good heat, and we were cooking. Second night, we ran it all night, I believe, at like a level 4, level 3 or level 4. It made heat all night. And we were wicked comfortable, like a single sheet and like t-shirts and shorts, you know, like it was for 0 degrees outside the tent. It was unbelievable. Yeah, I think it worked fantastic. Is the app particularly well coded or well produced? No, the UI is terrible. The broken English controls are not very good, but the simple kind of like operating mechanism of turning the temp up and shutting it off, honestly very, very easy to use. We went through about 3/4 of a tank on the night that we ran it all the way through the night, which was not too bad at all. I didn't have it totally topped off before we went to bed, so I'm kind of ballparking 3/4 of a tank. I was trying to stress test it as much as I could to see if we'd have any kind of safety issues or combustion issues or anything like that. Now, with any kind of combustion-based heater, I would highly recommend taking as much precaution as you can with VSEs and gases that will just put you to sleep. Carbon monoxide is a risk with a diesel heater, and I had a carbon monoxide detector in the tent all night, not up high because it's a gas that'll sit kind of low, it'll pool. So I had it like right up beside my head. Didn't get any kind of a readout. Didn't produce any weird smell, really. The exhaust burns wicked clean. The way I have it mounted up, it stays off the ground, doesn't impact the ground at all, which is important because you could risk probably starting a fire if you put it right on the ground. So, yeah, I think the diesel heater is a great little tool. I don't think it's something that you should rely on. I think you should be prepared to spend a couple evenings in the cold, but if you're trying to have a couple nights not hampered up in a whole bunch of blankets and stuff, feeling kind of constricted in your tent, I think this is a perfect solution at a perfect price point. So I'd say, by all means, look into something like this. There's some phenomenal bird action going on right here, right now. So is the diesel heater a good item?
Yes.
Is the diesel heater particularly well made?
No, not really.
And if it were to break, would we buy another one right away? Yeah, I think I would probably buy another one if this one broke. For the $128 I think I paid for it, it's worth its weight in gold. Actually, no, it would be very heavy and probably cost a lot in gold. It is worth its weight in Chinese diesel heater material. It's not a German diesel heater. The German ones are effectively made a lot better, but the technology is present in the Chinese ones. They seem to just work So I think for 126 bucks, like if you're 128 bucks, doesn't matter. If you broke one, you could buy another one, no problem, and you'd be good to go again. Yeah, honestly, what a great, what a great piece of tech, and at such an affordable price. We are blessed to have companies like Vever cranking out 1 billion of those things. Yeah,